नमामि शमीशान निर्वाणरूपं विभुं व्यापकं ब्रह्मवेदस्वरूपम् शमीशान निर्वाणरूपं विभुं व्यापकं ब्रह्मवेदस्वरूपं निजं निर्गुणं निर्विकल्पं निरीहं चिदाकाशमाकाशवासं भजेऽहं।
नमामि शमीशान निर्वाणरूपं विभुं व्यापकं ब्रह्मवेदस्वरूपम्।
न जानामि योगं जपं नैव पूजां नतोऽहं सदा सर्वदा शम्भुतुभ्यं जराजन्मदुःखौघतातप्यमानं प्रभो पाहि आपन्नमामीश शम्भो।
नमामि शमीशान निर्वाणरूपं विभुं व्यापकं ब्रह्मवेदस्वरूपं विभुं व्यापकं ब्रह्मवेदस्वरूपं विभुं व्यापकं ब्रह्मवेदस्वरूपम्।
रुद्राष्टकमिदं प्रोक्तं विप्रेण हरतोषये ये पठन्ति नरा भक्त्या तेषां शम्भुः प्रसीदति।
Om Shanti. The sage of the Upanishads sing the glory of God Shiva. Namami Shamisham Nirvana Rupam Vibhum Vyapakam Brahma Vedaswarupam Nijam Nirgunam Nirvikalpam Niriham Chidakashamakashavasam Bhajeham. I bow to the ruler of the universe, whose very form is liberation, who is omnipotent, who manifests as the Vedas. I worship Shiva, shining his own glory, without physical qualities, undifferentiated, desireless, sky of consciousness, and wearing the sky itself as his garment. I bow to the Supreme Lord, who is the formless source of Om, the self of all, transcending all conditions and states, beyond speech. Understanding and sense perception, awful but gracious, the ruler of Kailash, devourer of death, the immortal abode of all virtues. I worship Shiva, whose form is white as the Himalayan snow, radiant with the beauty of countless cupids, whose head sparkles with the river Ganga, with crescent moon adoring his brow and snakes coiling his neck. The song describes the glory of Shiva, how radiant he is, how glorious he is, how omnipotent he is, how powerful he is. His form that enchants everyone. And how it is? Nijam nirgunam nirvikalpam niriham chidakasha vasam bhajeham namamim shamisha nirvana rupam. He is the one who is nirvana rupam. He is the one who is beyond sound. He is the one who is situated in his eternal silence. God is described as the Lord of Silence. And if one wants to go near Him and experience Him, His form, one must become like Him. The more the silence, the more the closeness to God. Spiritualists down the ages have tried to seek silence all the time. There were two methods they resorted to. Jesus Christ oft resorted to silence. It's said that Moses did 40 days of fasting and 40 days of silence. Can we spend 40 minutes? These people devoted 40 days of their lives only for silent prayers in solitude, in some solitary cave or forest. Because they received a call, the call of silence. And when you receive such a call, you cannot stop. No words can stop you. No human force can stop you. It's the call divine. When the divine call comes, you just stop. If the call comes out of person's own will or wish, it may not continue for long. But when you receive an order from above, in the deeper stages of yoga, you enter into that deep stage of silence. In today's Avyakta Murli, whilst talking with group number 2, Baba said, "Do you know who you are? You are the direct creation of Creator. First creation of Creator. Do you have that much intoxication? If you have intoxication, then you remember the new world. When your intoxication goes down, you remember the old world. So get intoxicated that who created you. If you are created by God Himself, you should be like Him. And He is the ocean of silence. And He is the ocean of peace. And He is the ocean of unconditional love. So you become like Him. The depth of silence determines your intimacy with God. And what is silence? Silence is often thought of as negative, often as if not speaking. That's not the definition of silence. Silence doesn't mean that you stop speaking. That could be one part of it. But silence is not negative emptiness. Silence is positivity. We have got 5 senses, and all these 5 senses are in the stage of extroversion. Eyes, they want to see out. Nose, they smell. Ears, they hear. Hands, they touch skin. Taste, tongue that wants to taste everything. But when all the 5 senses are directed inside, then you start seeing the invisible. You start smelling the internal fragrance. You start hearing the internal music. You start touching the impalpable. You start tasting that nectar which you never tasted before. The senses are same, but now the same senses are directed outside. When the same senses lose hold of the outward world and they start going inside, then you start listening to the music. That internal music is silence. That internal fragrance is silence. That internal nectar is silence. So that is the real silence. And how will that silence come? When you realize your own nature as a silent soul. Silence is not something which we need to take from outside. It is the very nature of the soul to be peaceful and to be silent. When you realize that you are the resident of land of silence, Shantidham, when you realize that you are the creation of ocean of silence, silence is very natural to you. Silence is your nature. Silence is automatic. Silence is your original, your pristine nature. So when you come to your natural nature, automatically you start feeling happy. The more you are artificial, superficial, you are unhappy. Silence is something that gives you rest. What silence does? It gives you spiritual rest from the world of noise, from the world of speaking, from the world of worthless jargon. So silence gives you rest. The second thing silence gives you, connectivity. Two persons are sitting together. They don't speak. But just imagine, just they hold each other's hand and sit in silence without speaking. So that gives them inner real connectivity. We realize our connection with everything only when we are in silence. The third thing is we realize our connectivity with nature, with 5 elements. Silence leads to healing. Silence is the super healer. Silence is the super drug for healing. The psychological wounds, the psychological pains, the suppressed emotions, the wounded heart, the bleeding feelings, the fractured emotions. Silence leads to healing. Silence is something that charges the soul because the energy is dissipated in speaking, in extroversion. Silence leads to regeneration. It's a journey of regeneration and degeneration. When we came on this earth for the first time as deity, how many words we used to speak in a day? Was there any need? Have you ever thought of this? When the deity came for the first time on earth, how much they spoke? Were they conducting meetings and debates and discussions, lectures, workshops, seminars, classes? There was no need. The language was silence. Do you imagine the deities coming and started eating? There was no need. They were silent beings. They were just like angels. Because there was no need. Even if they would just sit, look into each other's eyes. Non-verbal communication. That is known as NVC. Non-verbal communication. Silent communication. There was no need to speak. Or do you imagine Lakshmi and Narayan sitting together and chit-chatting all night, discussing what is happening to our kingdom, how things are? What are your habits? Because they both were from different kingdoms. Baba often says, Krishna and Radha. So what is in your kingdom? What is in my kingdom? Do you think they would sit and discuss or chit-chat for long hours? There was no need. The whole earth was silent in Satyug. Nature also so silent. Baba said, when children were there, they never used to cry in Satyug. Have you ever contemplated on this aspect of Golden Age? The deities would not sit, deities would not talk with each other. There is no need, or there is a need. They used to remain in absolute silence. There is no need. How can they talk immediately? Just now they descended from Paramdham and started chit-chatting and discussion and debates. It's not possible. They just now came down from the stage where they were all alone, absolutely silent, coming down on earth and started eating. Coming down and started singing. Coming down and started writing. Coming down and started studying. So our very real nature is silence. Our original nature is silence. Our original sanskar is silence. Our original culture is silence. Our original religion is silence. And the more we move towards silence, more happier we become. Why? Because we are moving towards our nature. In today's Avyakta Murli, Baba has used the word return. There can be about 50 meanings of the word return. Baba said, you have to return back to Father what you have received. You have received from Him sneha, love, palna, powerful sustenance. You have received from Him attainments, treasures, immeasurable treasures. So now you have to give return. So that is one return. Second, you have to return back with Father. Third, you have to return back to your original sanskars of Golden Age. And in Golden Age, you were silent. Return. Turn back. You have gone on the wrong path. Now come back to Srimad. You have gone on the path of Manmat, Parmat. Come back to Srimad. Turn back your steps. Return. You have taken all those vices, now return them back. That is not your treasure. They are not your treasures, just return them. So there can be so many meanings of one word, return. So, return to your stage of being Kumar. It's a journey from half Kumars to full Kumar. It's a journey from half Kumari to full Kumari. So, silence is our nature. What silence does? First, it gives you rest, spiritual rest. Second, silence leads to healing. Third, silence gives you powers. Fourth, silence charges you. Because soul needs charging. And speaking discharges the battery. So one must return to silence multiple times. What silence does? It increases your interconnectivity with everyone. When you sit in silence, just imagine husband, wife or children sitting all together in silence without speaking. The atmosphere will be so powerful. Not speaking, just sitting. So, connectivity. Then creativity. Your creativity goes up when you go in silence. All the inventions people have done in silence. In silence we realize we are musicians. In silence we realize we are painters. In silence we realize we are artists. The real art flourishes in silence. The real art takes birth in silence. The real invention is born out of silence. So creativity and silence are linked with each other. You cannot just sit in the crowd and write poetry. Even if you do, that will be very artificial. All the nature's poet, they preferred silence, and one of the greatest poet, Pope Alexander, he wrote very beautiful thing. Happy the man whose wish and care a few paternal acres bound, content to breathe his native air in his own ground, whose herds with milk, whose fields with bread, whose flocks supply him with attire, whose tree in summer yield him shade in winter fire. Blessed, who can unconcernedly find hours, days and years glide soft by away, in health of body, peace of mind, quiet by day, sound sleep by night, study and ease, together mixed, sweet recreation and innocence, which most does please with meditation. Thus let me live, unseen, unknown, thus unlamented let me die, steal from the world, and not a stone tell where I lie. This author, this poet, lived in silence for a very long time. He lived in solitude for a very long time. Walden, that was the land given to him by Emerson. And he stayed there in the company of nature for a very long time. So silence takes you to your roots. Silence is the solution to all the answers. There's a story in the life of Buddha. A great philosopher came to Buddha and he said, I want answers. I have a list of questions and I want answers, and I had been to multiple people till now and nobody could answer. Will you answer? Buddha said yes, but on one condition. You have to stay with me for 2 years without asking any questions. So in silence. So he was saying, what should I answer? 2 years is a long time. But he said, are you sure you are going to answer me after 2 years? Buddha said, I guarantee you. I assure you that after 2 years I will answer. So when this conversation was going on, there was a disciple sitting behind. He started laughing. So this man asked Buddha, why this person is laughing, your disciple? Buddha said, I don't know, go and ask him. So he goes to that person, that disciple, and asks, why are you laughing? He said, don't get deceived. Even I had come like this with lot of questions and he told me the same thing. Wait for 2 years. Now it is 20 years. I am waiting and I don't have any questions. But he is right still. You can try. So this new man, philosopher, he says, okay. So 2 years he stays without questioning, just simple silence. After 2 years he even forgot. But Buddha remembers, he calls him. You had come 2 years back with questions, now ask, I am ready to answer. He said, you are very cunning. All my questions are destroyed. Silence is the answer to all the questions. So the last question, how to imbibe silence in this Brahmin life? There are 5 methods. First, intermittent silence. Just observe silence for 1 minute in between. In your hectic lifestyle, just be silent for 1 or 2 minutes in between. Second, post-seva silence. The moment you finish your job, your work, your duty, your seva, just retire in silence. Third, silence of yoga. Silence of yoga. Be in deep silence when you connect with Baba. Stop even that internal noise, internal chatter. Silence is to become so silent that let the divine cosmic energy flow within you. It can happen only when your toxic talks go away. Then only when the toxins are out of the body, the cosmic energy starts flowing. When the toxins are out of the mind, then the spiritual energy starts flowing. Without that, you have to depend on outside sources till that time. Another thing is silence of chintan, churning. No churning is possible without deep silence. You can churn any murli superficially, or you can learn by heart. That is possible. But churning is an entirely different process. Churning, you just go away, you become bodiless. Churning takes place in deep silence. And the last, silence of nature. Learn to spend time and take vitamin N as much as possible. You'll remain healthy. Increase the dose of this vitamin. So, once you receive this call of silence, you cannot stop. And let your heart listen to this voice. This is the divine call. And as I said, silence is our very nature, silence is our religion, silence is our very originality. Speech is not our original nature. It is the silence which is our original nature. So let's return back to our own self and listen to that small voice of silence. Om Shanti.